Good evening, good evening, good evening, family. Good evening, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the third episode of season 2 of Sidewalk Talk. Sidewalk Talk. We need a drum roll. I swear I need to figure out that drum roll, right? Season 2, we need to figure out the drum roll, right? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, Sidewalk Talk, right? If this is your first time watching, Sidewalk Talk is an online platform where we have real talk about the streets of Newark, New Jersey, right? So we look to gain insight, we look to clarify misconceptions, and we want to get a call to action from frontline workers who know the best about what needs to be done, right? So we gain insight by having nuanced conversations and like unpacking truths that are not even really often being discussed. Right? We look to clarify misconceptions about groups of people who are often unheard. And then if they are heard, then they're misunderstood because so many assumptions are being made about their lives. And then we try to lift up the work of local organizations here in Newark, New Jersey. Like, we are trailblazers. We are doing revolutionary, powerful, boots on the ground work around here. If you don't know about Newark, New Jersey, I don't know, you need to go find out, right? Because the local organizations and just individuals throughout the community are doing really powerful work. And so it's about action, family. It's about action. No offense. I always say no offense to meetings or emails, but it's time to move, right? Move and move past just talking and planning, right? So we want to know from those who really know best, the ones that are on the front lines doing the work, boots on the ground, to be able to give us our marching orders and give us a call to action. So that is Sidewalk Talk. That is what we're getting into tonight. It is season 2. So if you are not familiar with me or you've never watched this, show before, I am your host, Aaliyah Berry. And so for many of you who may not know me, let me just take an opportunity to introduce myself. So I'm a licensed clinician. I have 20 years experience working with ages 0 to 60 years old. So I've been in daycares and schools and summer camps, after school programs, correctional facilities, group homes, shelters. I've been in a lot of different settings with a lot of different kinds of individuals. So I'm a community-based social worker, and what that means to me is this is not a 9 to 5, right? Social work, for the most part, when you are community-based, is not always within the four walls of an agency. And so community-based for me means that I find myself in baby showers and graduations, unfortunately at sentencing hearings and funerals, goal setting on the sidewalk, and getting hugs at a red light. I have that in common with my guests, which I'll get into, but community-based and goal setting on the sidewalk, getting hugs at a red light, my guests can definitely relate to that on tonight. So I currently work as a consultant with Seeds and Berries, doing program design, training, and direct clinical services in schools, nonprofits, and the government sector. So to keep in touch with me, you can follow Seeds and Berries on Facebook and Instagram, Aaliyah Berry on LinkedIn, as well as on my website, seedsandberries.com. If you missed this episode live, right, or you're interested in we've done 12 episodes so far, then you can check it out on the YouTube page. So the YouTube page is Seeds and Berries. We have met with a lot of really dynamic guests throughout the season and last season. And so we talked about a lot of different powerful topics. And if you like this one, you may want to go check that out. All right. So that's enough about me. We're moving on to some housekeeping because I just want to get to my guests and see what we have to talk about today. All right. So just a brief housekeeping is to like, tag, and share for impact, right? So when you like and love and laugh and do these kinds of things that's like reactionary to the conversation, it just helps me and my guests not feel like we're like in a room alone, right? So he can see your comments, he can see your reactions, and that just, shows us how you're feeling about what we're discussing. Also to share, because at the end of the day, to be able to share this message for impact is not for popularity purposes, but it is we have an important message that we want to share, and so we want it to get into the hands of those who we think need to. And then last is to tag. So if you know a person, once the conversation gets underway and you're like, hey, this person would really enjoy this conversation, then you can tag them in the comments and then it will give them a notification to come on in and join the conversation. So feel free to tag people in the comments. And last but not least, definitely comment. Comment in the comment section to add value to the conversation. Everyone here that is watching, you all have your own experiences as well. And so add your own experiences and ask questions and engage in the comments. So again, me and my guests can, not feel like we're just here by ourselves, right? All right. So tonight's topic, right? Tonight's topic is a topic that I am super, super, super passionate about, which is mentoring, right? Sidewalk Talk is big on pick a lane, play your part, pick a lane, play your part, pick a lane, play your part. Right? We're big on that, and that has come up a lot in our conversations over the course of our episodes. And so mentoring is something that everybody can do. Everybody can do mentoring. And so last episode, we talked to Thomas Owens, who is the executive director of Mentor Newark, about how to reintegrate young people back in the schools. But this month, to kind of go from that conversation, we're moving on into this month only talking about mentoring specifically. Tonight, we're talking about mentoring boys to men, right? Not the singer group, y'all, but from boys to men, boys, men, young people, old people. You can mentor a 52-year-old, right? Like everybody has mentors. So mentors don't necessarily, this isn't age specific. So when I come up with a topic for Sidewalk Talk, I go through my mental Rolodex and I say, who of my trench siblings would be the perfect expert to speak on this topic? And so tonight, I am so honored and excited. I'm so honored and excited to be talking to the one and only. I need to figure out the drum roll, y'all. The one and only, literally no days off Ali. Now, if you are on these front lines, you know who's with you. Facts, right? And literally everybody knows Ali, literally no days off, from the West Ward Victim Outreach on South Orange Avenue. He's going to give you more information about what they do and how they do it. But when it comes to community-based, when it comes to all day, all night, Saturday, Sunday, it doesn't matter if the doors of the agency are open. This is a lifestyle, right? And so when I thought about this topic, this topic belongs to Mr. Ali, so I am super excited for him to be here, and so we're gonna get right into it. Hello, brother. How are you?
Peace.
It's so good to see you, sir, and thank you for being here.
Absolutely. I appreciate the invite. Honored.
Yes, no, I'm honored. I'm honored to be having this conversation with you. And yes. And make sure anybody in the comments, just let us know if the sound is off, for my own purposes. And let us know how the sound is. So we're going to get right into it, Ali. I know, right? And a lot of people may already know, but there are some people that are watching that don't know, like, who you are. And so just give us like some background on who you are and the organization, the West Ward Victim Outreach.
Okay. So West Ward Victim Outreach Community Office is a program that I have been working with for about 5 years now. Located on South Orange Avenue between Alexander and Palm Grove. First came into this program, it was under the health department, and the grant consisted of mentoring young men between the ages of 18 through 80 that either been shot, stabbed, jumped into prison. They've been through some type of trauma in their life, keyword trauma, and they out of tune with life. They out of tune, and we just helping them with the basics, jobs, IDs, birth certificates, help them get back to school if they dropped out. We had social worker, Keisha Yuri, she was on deck, therapist. So, we just had different things for them to, get back in tune with life, And, just the simplest thing is, helping to get the ID is like an accomplishment. Like, that's, maybe overlooked because, us getting our ID, that ain't about nothing. You know, it's just a, okay, I got my ID today. But these guys never had an ID in their life, you know, and it's an accomplishment to them. You know, a lot of them are out of tune with life because, you know, they can't go nowhere else because they done did stuff in different neighborhoods and they scared to get on the bus to go to school or get a job because they don't want to get caught in the wrong neighborhood. So, you know, we just being there to, you know, help assist, you know, the, these young men. But now, 5 years later, 5 years later, the grant has changed. So now it's 18 through 80, male or female, in every ward. You know, you know, off the record, I've been doing that from day one anyway. I ain't care where you was from, how old you are. I'ma direct you.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm gonna do. I'ma direct you. I'm gonna send you where you need to be at. But like I said, 5 years later, um, under the Office of Violence Prevention now, directed by Lakeisha Uri, who oversees this. And, you know, we just getting to everybody, man. We getting to everybody. We responding, you know, responding to scenes, not to do the, you know, not to investigate because that's the police job. You know, we responding to scenes so we can provide resources because when things happen in the community, that's because some resources missing. When children get shot, they're missing resources. They need jobs. Something ain't right in that community. So we got to get up in there as a team, which is Brick City Peace Collective, as a team doing the work collectively with all the other organizations coming together instead of doing it separate because we all under the same umbrella. You know, regardless what your political beliefs or your political follows, you know, that doesn't matter to me. You know, as long as you can help me do the work out here in these streets, that's all I care about. I don't care about what president you voted for, none of that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's not about us, it's about the people. It ain't about what I believe, it's about helping the people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Thank you. And so that's just a good. There's a couple things I might circle back around in this conversation, but yeah, Amina Bay said the collective work and responsibility, the collective, right, and all under the same umbrella, in different lanes, but on the same highway, right, and like
Shout out to Amina Bay. You know, not to cut you off, but
yes,
you know, shout out to Amina Bay, man. You know, she part of the no, you know, she's part of the No Days Off history, man. You
yes,
know, I knew Amina Bay ever since the Wisdom Center on James Street when I used to go there when I was in the halfway house, and she in the circle. You
yes.
know, I done stopped by Newark Emergency Service and picked up some food, so she in the loop, and I appreciate you, sis.
Yes. And so, right, another kind of added to the shout out is Amina Bay was our first Sidewalk Talk guest ever. And so that was like last December. So family, if you're her organization, her staff, her are dope and do super important work. So if you want to find out more about her work, please go check out the YouTube channel, and it will show how to donate to them. It will show how to support her work. So yes, shout out to Amina Bay. Yes, we honor you. We honor you, Miss Bay. So all right, so Ali, right? This is my question. Um, we know you as literally no days off, right? Literally no days off. Well, I think I would, and I've heard bits and pieces of this, but I don't know who has, and we're gonna ask it on the record. Where did that come from? Like, why is that your nickname? And two, like, what does that mean to you?
No days off. Uh, I came up with this, you know, or you know, we came up this together, you know, as a team. You know, the original WWBO squad. You know, brother Derek Caesar, happy birthday to you, brother. Audrey Sykes, of course, the Keisha Yuri, um, and you know, we all kind of came up with this together, man, and you know, because we out here grinding every day, like you know, phones never go off, so it's just you know it's a movement of not just working every day, right? People think, oh, I'm taking a day off. Yeah, no days off don't mean working every day. That's what I do. That's what I do. Everybody have a different no days off. No days off from a talk show host. No days off from a mother. No days off from a father. No days off from a sister. You know, so you know, as a mother, you're never gonna get a day off. You're gonna be a mother every day whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be a father every day, whether you like it or not. So you don't even have to have a job. No days off from self care. So just whatever your no days off is, just stick with it and just be consistent. Just find something to be consistent with every day. You may not have to just like for me example, you might not be the can you may not can dazzle people with your speech,
Mm-hmm.
but you could do it through your actions, just showing up every day, being consistent, me being out there on 14th Ave and 17th Street, 16th Street every day, not to, be out there, having a, long conversation with these kids because they don't really want to talk because they walk into school with their head down. They traumatized about what they seen last night, what they seen their mother doing, what they seen their father doing. They ain't had no meals, so they walk into school with their head down. And I was just a person that was just out there every day to be like, good morning, little bro. Good morning, little sis. Hold your head up. They might look at me. Next day, I might get a head nod. And then the next day I might get a conversation. What's up, Mr. Ali? And that's all I need because once I get a conversation, I'm gonna get to know their whole family just by speaking to them and saying good morning to them in the morning. I'm gonna get to know their whole family and I'm gonna help the whole family out. So it's originally started off with the kid walking to school, but you get to go into his household and find out who his mother is, his father is, find out why he walking to school with his head down. You find out his mother getting beat on, his father, his father drunk, he's drinking every day. So now you get to provide for the whole family a wraparound service. Because that's the only way little bro will get some help because his house is messed up. That's why he walking to school with his traumatized. And dealing with the whole the corona epidemic, that's a whole different trauma that's not even in the textbook yet. That trauma is not even in the textbook yet because these kids was traumatized having to sit in the house with a mother and a father that wasn't ready to be a mother and a father yet. They wasn't ready yet. Some of these kids went to school for a safe haven. Safe haven's supposed to be home. They couldn't wait to get out the house. They don't want to leave school. So not to cut you off, but I go on
You
and on.
good.
So
This is the conversation, Ali. It's good. This wisdom coming from your mouth. And so you touched on a couple different things and like we'll go deeper into like for example, like you talked about family. Like we'll go deeper into like how your family work looks, you know? So literally no days off for clarity family is not literally no days off working because I've even heard you say like yeah but you can literally no days off self-care too, like you can meditate every
absolutely.
morning and do self-care, so literally the no days off doesn't necessarily mean work yourself to the bone and off a cliff. Yeah. So
And everybody's self-care look different. I always say this.
mm-hmm
Some people need 5 vacations a year. I don't need that.
mm-hmm mm-hmm
My self-care looks different because I've been through different things in my life where I'm just so appreciative just to wake up every morning. I'm happy just for that.
mm-hmm
Like today, a lot of people didn't wake up.
mm-hmm
A
mm-hmm
lot of people that woke up, they can't see. They don't have no arms. They don't have no legs. So, sometimes, we just get so caught up in worldly affairs. We forget the simple things in life to appreciate. And me just waking up, that's enough for me.
mm-hmm
That's enough. I don't need 5 vacations a year.
mm-hmm
The only time I go somewhere is a job. I'm in California right now because it's job related. But
hey
I'm gonna treat it like a vacation too. So I'm good with that. I don't need no more for the year. You know, Uh, I'm good.
And so I hear you kind of saying, and this was kind of said in the pre-meeting as well, is like the work fills you in a way that like literally no days off, like the work fills your heart with with what? What does the work do for you and why it's literally no days off?
It it humbles me.
Mm-hmm.
It humbles me.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, humility will humble you. Humility will humble you. Me coming home after doing a lot of years in prison, and had to work at McDonald's at the cash register. I ain't care what nobody thought about me. It was embarrassing, but it humbled me. and I kept that job till I found a better job, then a better job, and a better job. So, that's just, my look in life, man. Humility, man, would definitely humble you doing the work that I do. It constantly, remind me of what I don't want to go back to. And that's what makes that's what make me go so hard, you know, because it constantly reminds me what I came from and what I'm still in, because the struggle is still real, it was real in the inside, because um people who have witnessed the whole George Floyd situation on TV, right? Most people seeing that on TV. What they did, I seen that on a regular basis, literally with my eyes, like being there. Y'all seen this on TV. I seen this on a regular basis in prison, man, with like some of the most racist. I couldn't even describe the hate that some of these officers had in their heart, man. Like and it's just it was just unbearable. And it's like you got a choice. You can help the brother, or you go be next. So it's a hard pill to swallow. Because you got to make a decision. Like, man, if I turn around and help this brother from getting beat by the police in here, then I'm next. So now two of us go die instead of one. So that humbled me, and still being out here doing the work, and you know still seeing the guys go through what I go through, man, and doing that and being there for them, because I don't want them to go through that, because they don't even believe that exists. They don't even believe, they probably heard stories about prison, think it's cool, but man, they don't even know like what they really setting themselves up for. Like, seriously, man. But
So I hear you saying two different things that we gonna jump into another question. Maybe not in order. Like we just gonna have a conversation, right? But like one is to be authentic as a mentor, right? Like you are super authentic because of your journey of transformation, right? So there's certain things that you know. And when they say, well, what you know about that, let me share with you what I know about that, right? And so like you're able to be super authentic. Um, and also just being committed and consistent in a different kind of way. So, like, from
mm,
your perspective, what should a good mentor, now we're just talking in general, and then we'll go into like boys and men specifically, but what would you say a good mentor should be doing?
the best thing a good mentor should do is to don't judge. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's one of my remedies, is is to not judge him.
Mm-hmm.
And because at the end of the day, we had faults, and we still have faults. I still have things that I'm working on. I still have faults. And you know you can't get um it's frustrating, but you can't get mad or upset if they don't change overnight. Because me myself, it took me 20 years to get it. I ain't changed overnight, so I can't get mad at them when they don't change overnight. But when they ready, the hood know me. They all have my phone number,
Mm-hmm.
social media. They see me out there. I pull up, so they know how to get into them with me. They know how to get in contact with me. And when they ready, they do call me. They
Mm-hmm.
do call me when they ready. And
Mm-hmm.
it's sad to say, some of them still got to learn the hard way. And I understand, because I had to learn the hard way. And it was sad. But some of these guys still got to get shot a couple more times. They still got to go back to prison a couple more times. They just not gonna get it. They just not gonna get it overnight. You know, um, they still have some bumps and bruises, to go through before. I'm trying to get this camera right.
You good? Mm-hmm.
They still have some bumps and bruises, to go through, you know, before they really get it. We just, hope they get it before death.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. But like I said, the best thing you can do is just don't judge them. Just be there for them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about what you out here doing. I don't care. I tell these guys, listen, man, I'm not here. Listen, don't tell me nothing you doing in these streets. I don't want to hear about that move you bust last night. I don't want to know about none of that. I'm here to help you get a job, ID, birth certificate, back in school, help you get these programs. I'm trying to get you in tune, bro. That's it. Whatever you out here doing, that's between you and your higher power. That's between y'all. I'm not God. I can't judge you. That's for him to judge you. Whatever you doing, that you gotta handle that when you see him upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just here to help you get in tune with life. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the best thing. Um, that's the best thing I could say. To be also, like Karen said, uh, listen to him, be a good ear, and that's why Al Tariq Best, the hub, he had the what was it called, the My Thoughts Out Loud.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 1+1,
Mm-hmm.
because all you got to do is play the back in the room
Wait,
and
so
let them talk.
explain for the audience what my thoughts out loud is,
My
that
Thoughts
they
Out Loud
understand
was,
where I'm from.
okay, it was a forum for the youth,
Mm-hmm.
right? At the hub, 135 Prince Street. It
Mm-hmm.
was a forum for the youth where they can talk about what they want to talk about, not what we want to talk about. We in the back of the room listening. They got the platform. They running the show. They in the audience. We letting them talk. And when you let them talk, they go tell you everything you need to hear. And they had different topics every time. Um, and these topics that they came up with was the topics that the youth came up with. Things that they want to talk about. Whatever they want, whatever topic they want to talk about, that's what they're gonna talk about. And you just listen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was definitely a dope concept, which definitely works.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, because the piece about it is just tying that together in regards to like not being judgmental, because true indeed, if you're judgmental, then they don't say anything else after that, right? And then like, what exactly are you mentoring when there's no trust, right? So like, to gain trust and to build relationship, we do have to just accept them for wherever they are in the journey of transformation. And I love the way you put that. Like, it's a process, right? And I know, like, so in a mentoring capacity, I have what's called like a God caseload, right? A caseload that is in no agency. It's just who is assigned to Miss Berry, right? And maybe I knew you from an agency, but like with boundaries, of course. But the piece about the journey of transformation, right? My question is, and a lot of people can relate to this, it is a process. And there are ups and downs, twists and turns, lefts and rights. And for someone who cares about them, right? How do you emotionally handle the twists and turns of their process?
Definitely, you have to meet them where they at.
Mm-hmm.
You have to,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody is not gonna be on my level and have the energy that I always like. I'm always on go mode, always on go mode. You may be going through something. Like I'm saying, I might not can't dazzle them with their speech. I could just, teach them, or show them or mentor them through my actions. So just meeting them where they at. Whatever they going through, they call my phone. I understand what you're going through, but guess what? But you go work today. You go get some vegetables. You go pass some food out. You go you go ride with me today, and you go. We might not have to say nothing the whole time. You was with me the whole day. You riding around with me in the van, helping me out, passing out vegetables, giving out flyers, educate the block. Whatever I'm doing, you're gonna jump in my lane and know that whatever you want to talk about, if you want to talk about it, this is the time. It got to be on my time, bro. It got to be on my time.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the end of the day, just meeting them, the people who up, but just meeting them where they at, man. And not, don't act like you know everything. It's help out there. It's other organizations that can help you out. It's other you got Newark Anti-Violence Coalition. I don't have all the answers sometimes. Sometimes I might need the brother Sharif to step up. He might need to step up, to the plate for me sometimes, because, it's some things that he can say to them that I might not know how to say. I'm gonna use my tool belt. I'm gonna use my tool belt, and I'm gonna do it collectively, and I'm gonna include everyone. So everything that we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
everybody is going to get the credit for it because we all working together collectively, as a team. And I just don't know all the answers because if I tell a brother something that's wrong, I'm going to be held accountable for that. And if they tell the next person, then I'm going to be held accountable for each person that's told that wrong thing. So, if I don't know something, I'm going to say I don't know, or I'm going to pick the phone up and I'm gonna get some help. I'm not gonna sit there. I can sit there. I'm not gonna sit there and act like I could talk to a woman that's just went through a whole domestic violence situation or she was raped. I'm gonna send her to the Shining Barack Women's Resource Center.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna sit there and act like I know what to tell her. No, I'm gonna use my resources. And for that type of situation, Shining Barack Women's Resource Center, they have a new dope team that Keisha put together over there. They get the job done, and I'm gonna send them over there
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna get the help they need and the right advice that they need because I don't want to mislead them.
Right.
But like I said, they might see me. Oh, he just Ali. He just hanging out there. He just hanging on the block with him out there. Yeah, I am. I am hanging out on the block with him. I am going in them buildings that nobody else want to go in to get them. I'm going in them buildings to go get them because they scared to come out or they scared to go there. They scared to go there, here, there, or whatever. We go get them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I hear with that last piece, just courage, right? Courage to go in places, that in dark places that sometimes people aren't super comfortable in, right? I hear consistency. I hear outsourcing, right? Like if I can't do it, then I'm gonna hit up so and so to that can come in because it is a village approach because we don't always know everything, and sometimes us as adults, especially with young people, like we try to act like we do know everything, right? And that in itself is judgmental because now you talking like you know my life and what it's like to walk in my shoes, even if we only walked in similar shoes. We could have walked in similar shoes, but I'm 16 in 2021 walking in these shoes. It's not the same, big bro, with all due respect. Right? And so sometimes you're right. Like people will try to act like they know and tell the young people, tell them, rather than just listen, like you said, like be a listening ear and really hear where they coming from and how they see life because it may be different than how we were seeing it. So
Sometimes they just looking for somebody to listen anyway. They
yeah,
don't. Some people don't always come to you for feedback.
right, right,
Sometimes they just want you to listen. That's it.
yep, yep,
I'm working on that. That's something that I'm working on. Learn to be a better listener
mm-hmm,
because if you don't listen and you talking, you're gonna miss some things.
mm-hmm,
And sometimes I do miss some things. I don't catch everything.
mm-hmm,
I'm not perfect.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But that in itself is how we should be telling young people, like, I'm not perfect, right? And like it's okay to not be perfect. So when you talk about going in buildings, right, Ali, as somebody who has go set it on the sidewalk and certain sidewalks, we'll just leave it at that, right? Your gut feeling. I wanted to ask you about like your intuition and your gut feeling as a specifically like a sidewalk mentor, right? That's very different than like a big brother, big sister with this organization that comes every, two times a month, brings the kids to the movies, drops them back off. Like what we're talking about is totally different. How does your gut
Mm,
feeling play into this work? How do you lean on your gut feeling so that
I don't.
people that are, go ahead.
I don't. I just I don't even listen. I don't listen to my brain sometimes. You know, I don't listen to my gut sometimes. I just be in go mode, and
Wait, so
that's the only.
wait. The story
Yeah,
you told in our pre-meeting, right? Because you're very familiar with the street. I don't think you give your gut enough credit right in this moment right here, right? Because you do know the street very well, and if you see a situation going left, you know whether and how to like intervene. You told a couple
yeah,
stories in the
yeah,
pre-meeting that everybody wouldn't have jumped in, but your gut
and it got
told
me
you
in
you
trouble.
could.
It got me in trouble. When I was working with Newark Community Street Team doing safe passage at Westside High School. You know, They always used to say, Ali, you're not supposed to be breaking up fights out there. That's something that
Yes.
I'm just not gonna. That's just something that I just can't do. Like I just can't, sit there and watch a kid getting jumped or beat up. That's just me. And then people say I don't want to be out there with Ali. He be out there breaking up fights. We ain't getting paid for that. But it was just something that they used to get on me about. And like I said, I just be in go mode. I don't listen to my gut sometimes. I don't listen to my head. I just go into a situation. That's it. Like I said, one day a guy, I was doing safe passage early in the morning, 14th Ave and 16th Street,
And what is
and the
safe
guy.
passage for the audience who doesn't know what safe passage is?
Safe Passage was a program designed to, be outside the school, making sure the kids is getting home from school safe, and you know, um, and it was also designed to, just build a relationship with the schools. The kids saying that, oh, it's somebody out there to look out for them. Because a kid might be like, man, I ain't going. You know what? I'm gonna go that way because Ali, I seen him standing down there, so I know he ain't gonna let nobody jump me, so I'm gonna walk that way. And just giving them, making them feel safe when they on their way home, because kids is living in different districts, man, coming all the way to West Side High School and going through all these different neighborhoods, and they scared. So the whole time they mind is not even in school. They worrying about how they gonna get home. They can't even focus in school. They thinking about their safety, and this is why they messing up in school, because they physically there, but their mind is not in school. They worried about how they're gonna survive. They worried about going home to that messed up situation. So it was designed to make the kids feel safe and to build a relationship with them. And me being out there one day on 14th Avenue and 16th Street a couple years ago, doing safe passage, and a kid pulled the gun out. And of course, I had a few of the team members with me, and that we was actually trained through a kill back share while I'm here in Los Angeles now to do another training. Always could use touch ups when it comes to this type of work, because things have to be revised because new traumas is happening every day. So we go have to revise some things again because some new trauma done happened. Some stuff done happened that never happened before. So it's protocol on how to do this work. Sometimes some things happen so fast, and shootings and murders happen so fast, and we just freestyling with it sometimes.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, it's protocol on how to do this work. So a guy pulled a gun out, right? Early in the morning, kids going to school. Me, what I want to do, I want to, of course, I don't want to see this go down. So, I walked up to the guy. Was I crazy for that? Yeah, but um, that's just, come with the work, man. That's just me. That's just me. I just can't sit there and witness that. I can't sit there and witness that. And you can see that the guy was he was high out his mind. I smelled alcohol on him. He pulled the gun out on another kid. He wanted to shoot him before us, about, I ain't gonna get into the details of the situation
Yes.
why,
Yes. No.
but I was able to look bro in his eye and be like, listen, bro, don't do that. I said, bro, please do not do that. And at the end of the day, he could have knocked my head off. He could have knocked my head off, you know. And I was able, of course, I was able to get him to put the gun up. I was able to get him to put the gun up. But he told me that he was like, listen, man. He said the only reason why I ain't do nothing to you because I see you out here every day on the corner making sure these kids getting home from school safe. He said that's the only reason Brian shoot you, and I respect that. I mean, just because being consistent, being out there every day, whether the kids are speaking back to me or not, I'ma still be out there and I'ma speak to them and I'ma still try to help them out. But um, and that's why I say I don't listen to my own mind sometimes, or my brain sometimes in a situation. I'm just always on go mode. But
So
um
so I do just want to add though, like what you said in that story, and I just want to say it out loud, especially for people who maybe don't know a lot about mentoring and they're like just maybe thinking about getting into it and things like that, right? What you said was one, consistency. Again, consistency keeps coming up, right? To be consistent out there, you had relationship enough to do that. And yes, I've been not quite in that particular position, but like what relationship can accomplish in situations that could go very left, and yes, die on the job. That I mean, Keisha just put out here like outreach workers are lifesavers. Like this is not a game out here, and relationship goes far. It really goes far. So the fact that you were able to do that, that's based on relationship. But the other piece that you did say that I just want to lift up and say a little louder is training. You did say training. You did say
absolutely.
protocol, right? The person you're getting trained by in California is the guru of this, like of the training work,
Yes,
like learning from people who have been doing this for decades and decades and decades, like 100 years, right? Exactly. So training is really key. But and somebody said consistency as love. They need to know that the love is available and that adults are reliable. They said. So that's that, right? So I want to shift a little bit because I wanted to lay a foundation of mentoring. But this conversation also is going to focus on like black and brown boys and men, and then the next episode we're going to focus on girls and women and like sisterhood, right? And how do you mentor? Because it is a little different. Now, the stuff you've already said so far, across the board, right? Girls need consistency just as much as young men do, right? So what
absolutely.
we've said so far is consistent across the board. How, when it comes to relationship building, right, with young men specifically, the guarded ones, the ones that have a lot of trauma, and you brought that up early in the conversation, that are no, no, I don't need you, I don't need that, I'm good, I know what I'm doing, man, go ahead. I know you always speaking to me every morning, but I'm not in the mood. No, I don't want no ID. No, I don't want no job. How do you build relationship with the guarded and challenging young people? Because a lot of people give up on
Because
them after they just get a little bit of resistance. They'll give up on the young people.
and that's exactly why they like that.
Mm.
And that's exactly
Say
why they
it,
like that.
say it, Ali, say it.
They didn't see me. They didn't see me. Um, just 5 days out the week on that corner doing safe passage. They seen me on the weekend coming through their blocks. Then I started seeing them in so also with the safe passage, we was also able to go inside the high school. It was Ram Qasim at the time, he was the principal, then Akbar Cook became the principal. So we used to go inside the cafeteria and sit down and have conversations with the kids. So we really chopping it up with them. We ain't just out there, you know, um, outside the school. We inside the school, outside and inside the school. So, you know, just sitting down at the conversation at the table having conversations with them. I'm like, yo, Ali, I see you on my block this weekend. Yeah, that was me. Yeah, that was me. So, follow-ups, man, is important. You have to follow up. They were seeing me, outside of work, off the clock, invest in my personal time into the work that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Invest in my personal time into the work that I do, and that's what has to be done. In order to do this, you have to invest your personal time into this work. If this is what you love, if this is what you do, it just can't be you just doing this for the money. It ain't gonna work out. You ain't gonna last long, and that's why these kids get hurt because you was here for the money. It wasn't enough money for you, so
Mm-hmm.
you left. But not even knowing, you just left some kids behind that you was helping out. You just left some kids that was depending on you that you left behind because you wasn't getting paid enough money. You know why you ain't getting paid enough money? Because you wasn't investing in yourself. You
Mhm.
wasn't investing on your days off. On
Mhm.
my days off, I was still no days off, literally.
Literally.
So, being consistent, following up, sitting in their living room talking to them. They walking down the stairs and they like, yo, I know they ain't Mr. Ali in my living room talking to my father. Yeah, this is me, bro. Yeah, this is me. Bro, you thought I wasn't gonna pull up? Yo, he
Yeah.
in school acting crazy. He in school acting crazy, man. Get on him. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, following up, man, that's an important component, man, to doing this work, man. Follow ups.
Yeah. And also just like yeah. And also with the challenging guarded ones, what I hear you saying is like no matter where I turn, Ali's still there. He in my school, he in my cafeteria, he's in my dining room, he's in my corner store. Like, so if the guarded, challenging young person was saying, like, was being resistant to that relationship, eventually you being everywhere he turns is gonna wear down on him. Like,
Absolutely.
right? Because I think I can trust this guy because now I've been watching him for 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and he still hasn't switched up. I think I might be able to trust him.
But having to, for me to be able to do this work, right? You know, you have to have a strong team behind you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have people show up for you.
True indeed. True indeed.
And man, at the end of the day, man, you already know, man. Director Lakeisha Yuri showed up for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She showed up for me. I'ma show up for the. She showed up for me when I really needed her to show up for me.
Mm-hmm.
She showed up when I needed her to show up for me.
Mm-hmm.
When she really didn't really want to show up, but she still showed up, boots on the ground. So no matter what your status is, you
Mm-hmm.
got to be boots in this ground. You got to be boots on the ground with this thing. Period.
Right.
You got to be boots on the ground with this work.
And that's
You
so
have to.
true. It's so true just about the collective because, like you said, people got to show up for you, even in the work too, right? Because like now we working on teams, and so that's true. If my relationship depends on something that my team member has to do, right? Like I've been in schools, corrections, like in a whole bunch of different settings. That's the case across, even on the sidewalk, right? Like the team is the strength of the team is super important, right? The last piece I would say just about the guarded young person um is just like then once you kind of push through and you're able to get that relationship going, right? Do you ever find that it goes backwards, like relapse wise, right? Where you gain trust and then they freak out.
I mean, of course, that's gonna happen because most of them have trust issues, whether it's from their mother, from their father, whether they was whatever abuse they went through. They're gonna have trust issues, and they gotta trust me to trust the people that I hand them off to. We call it a warm handoff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna do my best to keep up with as many as I can. But I have a team. I have a great team that they show up for me, and they there for me when I need to do the warm handoff. So at the end of the day, like I'm not in the office a lot
mm-hmm. We know.
because
We know.
yeah, but they have to understand that the people that's in the office, the Westmore Victim Outreach Office, or the women's or whatever office I send them to, I let them know they go help you out. They
Mm-hmm,
got you, bro. They got you, sis. They go help you out.
mm-hmm.
And if they don't help them out, right? They go call me, right?
Yes.
And then when I get
Yes.
that call, I'm pulling up, and I
That's
might have an attitude.
yes.
I
Yes.
might have an attitude, but
Yes.
if I send somebody to you and you don't provide a resource, you don't help them, I might pull up with an attitude a little bit. But like Keisha always tell me, be cordial.
Mm-hmm,
That's one of the most important things, man, that ever that she could have ever said to me, just to be cordial sometimes.
mm-hmm.
But um, they're gonna have trust issues. And this is why we need these to put these Zoom classes in places. That's why we have men's meeting.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the men's meeting is for, to build that trust within the men, to build that trust. You know, once they come to the men's meeting, they learn to build trust again. Then we can start teaching them how to build trust with their mothers, their sisters, and their friends and their family. We could teach them how to build trust with other people.
Mm-hmm.
But let's start with us first, little bro. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, so they're gonna have trust issues. That's just gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. And then to your point earlier, and you said it but kind of quick, but I just want to highlight it, is like sometimes they're resistant and reluctant on purpose, you said, right? Because they are seeing whether you're gonna give up on them or not. Sometimes that whole get out my face, I don't need you, I'm good, I'm good. Sometimes that's a test, is what you were saying. You say, yeah, that's why they're like that, because they want to see whether you will stick around, even if they are resistant. So don't fail the test, family, right? Just because a young person gives you that doesn't mean then walk away, because that's what they were wondering if you would do anyway, right? But keep pushing through that resistance, right? So when it comes to then either going hard or walking away, right? So I use the analogy, and I shared this with you in our pre-meeting, but like basically when it comes to like mentoring or just a lot of this work, social work, I mean, it's a lot of this work, right? We are in the passenger seat of those we serve. We're in the passenger seat of their car. We're not trying to take over their wheel. We're not moving them out the way so we can drive their car. Like the car is their life. And at the end of the day, it is their life. They have, whatever they want to do with it at the end of the day is their decision, right? But oftentimes I'm in the passenger seat of folks' cars and I'll say, excuse me, like, sir, that's a wall. That's a brick wall right there, right? That's a brick wall, and you're going 90 miles an hour at that brick wall. And for me, because I work with young people, but like before, during, and after incarceration. So the before is like young people who are court involved or ain't get caught yet. During incarceration, I am behind the wall, and then I do reentry work. So I see the wall. Like, excuse me, can we go around that? You don't have to hit that. Like, here's a map. Like, can we just slow down a little bit? Like, let's talk about this, right? Sometimes they're gonna hit the wall anyway. And Ali, we have hit many, many walls with people. And you said earlier just about death, sometimes the airbags do not pop out. And you're in cottons because we hit the wall, right? And that's a very real thing when it comes to mentoring in our community. Sometimes though, you do have to get in the back seat, and then other people, I guess, jump out of the car, or like they leave the car and call me back when you're ready. I personally don't ever leave the car. Like, I'm still in the back seat. Where do you see yourself with that? Do you ever get out of the car, or do you just like put some distance? And how do you know whether to go hard, like, and get somebody up for school every single day when they don't feel like it, or just say, hit me when you're ready? Like, how do you know what to do and with who?
Um, Sometimes, well, in the beginning, um, you may seem like, you may not be getting nowhere. So you have to, it's just a feel. You just have to know. It's just from experience.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Me, like I said, when they ready, they know how to pick up the phone, and they know how to call me, and they know how to contact me when they ready. When they not ready, I'm not gonna force them. I'm not gonna force them because I can't drown myself. And sometimes I may do that a lot. You know, I may get caught up sometimes because I believe in them more than they believe in themselves.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I see some things in them, and I be like, bro, you really out here in these streets, and it's not you. You know what you could be doing, and they really be thinking I just be talking, and it's just that they don't even believe in themselves. And this is why they don't see it.
Mm.
That's why they don't see the potential that they have, the talent that they have, because they really don't believe in themselves. And that comes from them not having, maybe it's they missing love. Nobody's telling them that they love them. Nobody telling them good job. Nobody patting them on their back. They a lot of them feel like they on their own. They don't have nobody. And I don't know what else to I don't know how else to really explain it. But I mean, I believe that sums it up.
Yeah, yeah. But
They
I
don't believe in themselves, and just getting them, just convincing them, to believe in themselves. That's all you could do. You can't force them to do anything. Just convince them to believe in themselves.
hmm hmm and I feel you 100%. And in your eyes, like that's the realest thing ever. Like to believe in themselves and believe in the greatness that we do see in them, regardless of what they're doing, decisions being made, like behaviors, whatever. Like, but on the inside, the greatness. And so like what would you say like how young men of color specifically are misunderstood by society? Because I see a lot of, especially streetwise, a lot of us versus them, right? And like what would you say are how what clarify misconceptions for us? What do you think are how they are misunderstood? One is believing in themselves. What else?
Hurt. I mean, it all comes from hurt, man. They hurt.
Yeah.
They missing men in their life. They missing a male figure, in their life. And um, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just starting. My mind is just starting to
I
go blank for some reason.
know. I know.
But they missing male figures in their life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I also find that some of the behaviors, like, they don't always want to do though. And sometimes I think like streetwise, like the community thinks that like they just don't care. And I had put that in the caption when I promoted this interview, like, oh, crime is up and like blame the parents and these kids don't care. This generation has no hope. Like they have no code and all this other stuff. But like when you really listen to their perspective, it's much more complicated. Like this is not it's not simple what's on their mind.
Because a lot of adults are giving up on them.
Yes.
And I can't say that, like, it blows my mind, but it seemed like the parents are scared of the kids. Like, it's different
Mm-hmm.
because
It
it seemed
is.
like the parents are scared of some of these kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, literally,
Mm-hmm.
the kids is running the household.
Mm-hmm.
I done seen it. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't went in, just doing home visits. When I should do home visits before, for West Side, and just going to different homes, with the letter and letting the parents know that, listen, your child missed 15 days of school. He was absent 20 times. And the parent looking like, huh? He was what? I. So now she looking at him like, where you been going?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they response be like, bro, you just really talk to your mother like that? Just like, did you really just talk to her like that? And so it's just like the whole dynamic of the household has changed from the households that we came up in. It's a whole different, dynamic. It may be a few parents that's hands on, or whatever, that they're not gonna talk to their mother like that or their father like that. But you know, um, and my thing is, man, I hear a lot of people say, man, Ali, man, they ain't gonna want to do right. That's why they ain't gonna want to do right. Cause look what you saying. Oh, Ali, man, you wasting your time, Ali. Why? Why am I wasting your time? Because you gave up.
Mm-hmm.
You gave up and you upset up with them from the same stuff that we did when we was kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you mad at them about. The same things we did. That's why you mad at them and gave up on them because they doing the same thing you did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people is giving up on the youth. A lot of it's it's if it's a few of us still holding on real strong. Um, but a lot of guys, man, just wash their hands, man, because these kids just not listening. So um, I don't know.
Yeah, you do know. You do know. I mean, I know we don't know a lot, Ali, but this conversation has been like super informative. For people that don't know, or what was brought up in the last episode is upgrade. Right, Thomas Owens, his marching orders to us was upgrade. Just because you've been doing a thing in the work for 20 years doesn't mean it's gonna work now, and it doesn't mean that it was always appropriate. So like for us, even the people that are listening that do this work, some of this stuff we do know, but you're also checking people on stuff that maybe we need to go inside and look and be like, maybe I should upgrade that piece. You know what I mean? So like, and then people that are brand new that don't know anything about this, you're teaching them as well. So we appreciate this conversation. I think the last question, right, with the exception of how do we support your work, that's the last question because we want this audience to be able to support your work. But
Okay.
like, give us our mark. Now, you've already explained to us where we fall short as a community. You've also explained to us where we're strong as a community. What is the top 3 marching orders? Top 3 calls to action. Top 3 things you need the community to do to like do this work. Top 3 things. What do you need from us?
For number one, we gotta stop fighting with each other.
Okay, that's a good first one.
We have to stop fighting with each other. We do because we have to stay focused on the mission. Keyword mission.
Yes.
That's what we gotta stay focused on.
Yes.
And sometimes we get so caught up in in personal stuff and uh, and it be childish. It be the smallest, most childish things that's separating us. Small stuff,
Mm.
you know. But we definitely all need to come together. We have to. We have to come together. Everyone has to invest some time off the clock. You're not gonna get paid for this. Is we talking about when we talking about generational wealth and generational health, that means you're gonna put some work in that you ain't gonna get paid for right now. It's gonna pay off in the long run when you're not gonna be here. That's what we fighting for, the longevity, generational health and generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
We not fighting for the wealth right now. We fighting for the wealth and the help to continue with generations and generations, not us. It's bigger than us.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
we get caught up in thinking it's about us. No, it's about the people. It's about the people. I have disagreements with people all the time. But guess what? They can call my phone and I'm gonna be there for them and I'm gonna help them out and I'm gonna provide whatever resource they looking for. I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna help them out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what we need to do. Stop. That's the number one thing. We just need to stop fighting with each other, man, and be consistent.
Mm-hmm. And
Be
then for
consistent.
those who don't do the work, like show up, right? You had told me that about like the men's meeting and like getting involved and like,
Yes. So God said, man, changing one person is like changing a nation. You don't have to think you're gonna save or try to save all of them. Just grab about one or two of them. Just grab about one or two of them and bring them to the men's meeting and start from there.
right.
You don't have to have a long conversation with them. You don't have to bust your brain on, damn, what should I say to him, or wondering what to say. Don't say nothing. Just show up for him
Mm-hmm.
and just snatch him up and just take him with you. That's it. If you could grab two, grab two. If you grab three, grab three. If you can only grab one, just grab one. If everybody just grab one, that's all they got to do, and the whole nation would change.
Right. Right. So the grab one and bring one, right? But also grab yourself and come to the meeting yourself. Because there's a lot of brothers that are already there that, yes, to your point, and I don't know because I'm a woman, so I have not been to the men meeting, right? But bringing young people with you. But again, like if you're local, and even if you're not local, I feel like even if you're from other cities, so the men's meetings are run by the Honorable Mayor Raz J. Baraka. How frequent, or do you know? And if not, I'll post that. But get involved and come to the men's meetings is a call to action. And then if you're already coming to the men's meetings, then bring young people with you. Yeah?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. So, the um, men's meeting is normally once a month. The last place we had it was at the park, Nat Turner Park. And it was a big circle. So I normally post it on my social media, anything, any information, any jobs, whatever events is going on in the city. Of course, it's going to be on my page. That's what I use that for, because nobody's picking up a newspaper. So what's the quickest way to get the information out to the people? Social media, that's just like 1+1.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I definitely always post, whenever I get the flyer, I
Mm-hmm.
always post it on my page about the men's meeting. But man, I need the brothers, the mayor needs the brothers to step up, man, and start bringing these little guys to the meeting. Don't even tell them where you going to. Like, come on with me, little bro. We going somewhere positive. Just come with me. Just snatch them up and bring them. Don't
Mm-hmm.
even tell them where you're taking them,
Mm-hmm.
because it's too much happening right now in the city, and somebody from every neighborhood need to be snatched up in that mid. We need to talk about something. We need to talk about something, because it's too many shootings. We need to talk,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because it's gonna keep going back and forth. So y'all gotta sit down and talk.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody gotta sit down and talk. Big bros too. I'm talking to you too,
Mm-hmm.
because y'all be behind a lot of stuff. Not saying it's y'all most of the time, but it's 50-50. Don't say all these young guys. No, y'all. It comes from the top sometimes. Y'all doing some BS out here. Come to that man's meeting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Talk like a man.
So,
Anybody can shoot a gun. Come to the meeting. Let's talk.
yeah, have dialogue. Have dialogue. So with the final kind of question, you mentioned your social media. So like, how do people, if the audience members want to support your work, right? They want to support the organization. Keisha did put in all the information in the comments as well about the historical, revolutionary, unprecedented Office of Violence Prevention and Trauma Recovery in Newark, New Jersey. Snap it up, snap it up. So she put the information like for the services and the phone number. But if they want to support or get involved in projects that you're doing, and you said you're never in the office, let's be clear, your office is everywhere, as is mine. So I can relate to that. My office is wherever
Yeah,
I am.
that's it.
Exactly. So
That's
if
it.
people wanna get involved in projects that you're doing, like you pass out food, you're doing a lot of different things. So like, how can they get involved with projects that you're doing?
So of course, Brick City. We have Brick City Peace Collective with Dawn Hayes, also on the Board of Education. She heads that. Um, you have Newark Street Academy with Sakina Cotton for the youth that's dropped out, 16 through 24. Of course, you have Westward Victim Outreach Office, of course, South Orange Avenue. Somebody is always in the office. We
Say the
have
address one more time. The address of
846-850 South Orange Avenue.
okay.
And then you have the Shining Rock Women's Resource Center, which Lakeisha has placed Wafia Salim. She's the director over there now. and some great sisters over there. Everything is coming into place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have who else am I missing? You have Newark Anti-Violence Coalition. You could contact Karima Williams. You could contact Miss Corinne. Um,
But
so
all
you know,
these people, because you don't want to forget anybody, and I feel you on that, Ali.
yeah, I know.
But like,
And
but they can reach all these people, and you do share the flyers and information of all these organizations on your social media. So if like somebody from Philadelphia who's watching right now, right, and they don't know really those organizations or what they do, but if they follow you on social media, then they can see those different organizations and they can pick a lane, right? Pick
absolutely,
a lane, because if you if you want to serve women, then Shani Baraka Center and some other organizations. If you want to do this, then go to this lane. If you want to do that and serve these people, go to this lane. But pick a lane. And if they follow Ali on social media, he's gonna put about 1,200 lanes that they could pick from. Okay, just
and
we need help. We
I
need help,
post a
family.
lot.
Huh?
I post a lot of information.
Yes, you do. Yes, you
Just
do.
because I post it, don't mean I'm gonna be there.
Correct, but people
Yeah,
could get involved by following your
absolutely.
social media. Absolutely. You
Yeah,
have don't you have clothes you want to donate? He might share something of Amina Bay Newark Emergency Services on the homeless day.
absolutely.
And then you can
And
go donate your clothes. So I definitely think Ali's social
me
media
too.
is a hub of information and resources.
And of course, the hub, 135 Prince Street, Altarique Best. The trauma. I still send the youth there for the, it's a trauma center. For the youth.
Mm-hmm.
I know that as far as clothes, you can drop clothes off at the WWBO office, the Shiny Barack Women's Resource Center. They do Shiny's Closet every week now. So you can contact me. You can call me. If I don't answer, leave a message. 973-295-2359. Just wait for me to pull up on you. That's it.
Yes. Yes.
Send me a location. Send me the Addy. I'll pull up on you.
Yes. So that's we're kind of out of time, but this information has been extremely authentic. Go ahead. Go ahead.
One more thing.
Yes.
Also, we're gonna start back doing the listening rallies, with the brother Sharif Amin Hotep, which is done in different neighborhoods every week. So if you see us out there, that don't mean we just out there. We angry, some angry people out there. No, we out there to give out information. It's called the listening campaign.
Mm-hmm.
We out there to give out information to the people and find out what's going on. We're not there to get the community riled up. So if you see a community, a listening campaign happening in your neighborhood, you hear somebody on a microphone talking, come outside and get involved. There's always going to be someone out there from every office to Brick City Peace Collective, West Wall Victim Outreach, the Shiny Center. There's going to be people there from different offices where you can get into. We ain't hard to find. We out there, literally, we out there.
Yes. And even though from other communities, because this audience goes far and wide, right? And so, yeah, if you want to pick a lane in Newark, New Jersey, then there's many lanes to choose from. And then there's also the same lanes in your community, wherever you are, right? Because this audience is it kind of goes far and wide, right? So I just want to kind of conclude with just really thanking you, right? I let my guests know every time, but like I don't take this guest seat lightly, first of all. I
I'm
don't take
honored.
this guest seat lightly. And so, Ali, you are authentic, you are thorough, you are reliable, you are caring, you go hard. This work runs through your blood, like DNA, blood, sweat, and tears, literally out
Literally,
here.
literally.
I've shed blood, sweat, and tears, literally. I'm not talking about figuratively. Blood, sweat, and tears, literally on this sidewalk when we're out here. And so there's no one else I would have had as a guest on this topic but you. And I also just want to like honor your journey of transformation. Okay? Because we didn't get into even your like journey of transformation, even in the work. Like
Let
you
me,
also
let me
have
say,
transformed even in the work. And
can I say
so, go ahead. Go ahead.
one more important thing? Like a lot of, you know, also, like, a lot of things been happening in the North. A lot of shootings, a lot of funerals, man. And sometimes, man, you can catch these. We need people at these funerals. We need the women that come to these funerals, man, to love on some of these people that's in there grieving and weeping and they hurt and they ready to retaliate. We need some people to be at these funerals, man, and love on these people, man, that's in there grieving. Um, it's kind of hard for me, I got a call the other day for me to attend the funeral for, the young brother BA that was killed across the street from West Side High School. And I was actually at the vigil the night that, I went to the vigil. They had it on South Orange Ave, right across the street from West Side High School. And it kind of broke me down. And it's like, man, it's hard for me. Like I'm just like, man, I just can't do the funerals right now. Maybe I could, maybe be outside, or and that's what you don't necessarily have to go inside. You could just be outside, man, and talk to these youth when they come out, because they all the way emotional and they need somebody to talk to them and bring them back to reality, because they're not thinking rational.
Mm-hmm.
They're not thinking rational because the emotions done took over. And we need some brothers there, man, at these funerals, man, to talk to these youth when they come out, man, because it's rough, man. Like I said, the last picture, man, it kind of broke me down. I do my best to bother Miss Director Lakeisha Yuri. I do my best to bother her as less as possible. But it broke me down where I had to call her and she had to show up for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lakeisha Yuri had to show up for me,
Mm-hmm.
because it broke me down, and she heard it in my voice, and she came there by herself, and she pulled up, and she came to actually had two vigils for the little bro. They had one vigil down on South Orange Ave where it happened, and then the other little bros, they had a different vigil inside West Side Park. And she showed up for me, man, and she did, and she came, and I needed her to be there for me. So at the end of the day, we got to be there for each other, man.
Mm-hmm.
The people that's doing this work, we got to be there for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Just let some stuff go.
Mm-hmm.
Let some stuff go. So what? You dyed her hair red, and she dyed her hair red. Now you will dye your hair blue. Y'all mad at each other over some crazy. Stop it. Stop it. Let's do the work, man. Let's
Absolutely.
do the work and be there for each other.
I mean, the work is too heavy and too important to be focused on other things. That's not the work. Yes, there's too much work to be done out here to be worried
Too much.
about some other things.
Too
Like,
much.
so yeah, I just I hear that as a lane, right, with the funerals. Um because that definitely, as someone who's done that work, right, and does that work, but like everybody's funeral on a system wide macro level, like that's an important lane that is needed. So I hear you on that. Um, but yeah, we just honor and celebrate your journey of transformation, right? Because it's your sacrifice and your yes to this work, right? And putting your all into this work. Um, your journey of transformation, it's I honor it. I honor and respect you, and I honor and respect where you've been and where you are, and super excited about where you're going. Like, bruh, in California right now on business trip.
Yeah.
You better go
Yeah.
ahead, brother. Like, right? So like I'm super proud to like know you and be on these front lines with you. And to call you a part of my village and my team, right? And so I thank you for coming on this platform, sharing your wisdom. It's been marinating for quite some time. It's seasoned. It got a whole lot of seasoning on it. And so I appreciate your voice and your instruction. Like, as we honor you and you're an asset to this community. This community would not be the same without you. And
I
so
appreciate it.
thank you,
I
sir.
appreciate it.
All right. So we'll talk soon, and do some self care out there in this Los Angeles.
I'm about to hit the hood, man. I'm about to hit the hood. I'm hitting it up because this work is universal. It's
I
universal.
know, cause I've been in Compton too, Ali. So I know what you're saying about going out to the hood, even when you on business trips, Ali. But so I'm not going to stop you, but make sure you you rest the. You need to bring back your whole self to New Jersey.
That's,
California cannot have you, okay, sir?
now I love Jersey. I'm coming
I
back.
know, I know. All right,
But
so we'll talk soon.
I appreciate it, man. I feel honored for you to invite me
Of
on
course.
your show, man, and let me be heard, and get my little, the little advice that I can give or whatever.
You gave a lot, more than a little. Nah, you gave a lot of advice. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you. And
Thank you.
we'll talk soon.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Well, family, that was a beautiful, wonderful interview. We are quickly going over just the calls to action, summarizing the call to action. Down here is Mr. Ali's social media. As we said, that was one of the calls to action, was to follow him on social media so that you can pick a lane, because his social media is like a whole hub of information in itself. So he shares flyers of tons of different organizations that are doing different work that you can get involved in. So he said, get involved. He said, work off the clock. He said, stop fighting amongst ourselves for the people that are doing the work, because there's too much work to be done out here to be worried about some of these other things that are not very important. Remain consistent. Don't judge our young people, especially young men. It's complicated, right? And we're going to talk about women next time and young girls, but like the men he talked about self-esteem. He talked about drivers of behavior and decisions. And like it's complicated and nuanced, which is what we try to have real talk about here on Sidewalk Talk. He also said get trained. Right? As you could see, mentoring looks very different in our community than it looks like in some other communities, right? And so mentoring, the things that we're doing services wise and how we're getting involved and what kinds of actions and things that we're getting engaged in is different. And so we need to be trained or follow our gut, follow intuition. That is very, very important. To keep pushing through resistance. Not all the people that we're mentoring are immediately just going to be like so happy to engage in a relationship, but we have to keep pushing through that resistance because it's a test, is what he said, which I agree. Go into their homes, follow them into their homes, right? Work with their families, do wraparound services, and wrap your arms around the entire family of those who you're mentoring. There was tons of things he said, but these are just some of the pieces. And be a good referral is what he said, because sometimes our relationship that we have with that person and then we refer them somewhere else, we need that to go well, because our relationship needs that to go well. So even a call to action for those of us doing the work is to be a good referral, right? So that is some of the calls to action. We're going to release something that kind of outlines those calls to action more specifically. Again, do follow Ali on social media. And pick a lane, play a part, right? You can catch this episode as well as season 1 on Seeds and Berries YouTube channel. Again, my name is Aaliyah Berry. I do program design, training, and direct clinical services in schools, nonprofits, and the government sector, specifically with individuals before, during, and after incarceration. You can follow me, Seeds and Berries, on Facebook, Instagram, Aaliyah Berry on LinkedIn, and find out more about my services on my website at seedsandberries.com. So again, please like, tag, and share this message for impact. It is not for popularity. It is for impact. We want this message to go far and wide to who we need it to go to. All right. So I will see you next time. The question is, when is next time? So next time is October 24th. Sidewalk Talk is every 2 weeks for 10 episodes every season. And so next time we're going to talk about girls. We're going to talk about sister to sister, sisterhood. And, how do we serve young women and girls? Because it is a little different. It does have different nuances, right? And so that's what we're going to get into next time. I appreciate you all for your support, and stay tuned for the next episode, and have a good night.